everybody. Sean Hammond with PremierGuitar.com here. We're at Summer NAMM 2012 in Nashville at the Martin booth. We've got Chris Martin here. He's going to tell us the story behind this really cool new series, the retro series. We heard from Greg, and we're going to hear more later. Sounds really good, by the way, so far. But Chris, tell us what's going on.
Well, we've been working with Fishman for over 20 years. And about 7 years ago, Larry developed the Aura system. The idea behind it is you take a Martin model, like a D28, he takes it into a studio, plays it in front of a very sophisticated microphone, massages that digital information, and then we download it into an electronic system in a D28 that comes off the line. So I was in a meeting, and Larry was there, and they were talking, oh, you know, why don't we do this with one of our vintage reproductions? And I thought, well, if we're going to do that, would it be possible to take a few of the guitars in our museum collection into a studio and play them through vintage microphones, take that information and import it into a vintage recreation guitar? And Larry initially was a little skeptical. He's like, I don't know, you know, if it doesn't work out right, we're going to spend a lot of time and effort on something that we won't be proud of. I said, all right, well, think about it. And he said, well, I know a fellow in Nashville, Bill Borndick, and he's the go-to guy for old microphones. Let me call him. And Bill said it's worth doing. It's worth a try. So some of my colleagues, with the blessing of our insurance company, took four. They took a pre-war D45, a pre-war D28, a pre-war D18, and a pre-war Tripolo 28 out of the museum, put them in a Martin van, drove to Nashville.
With an armed guard, right?
Yeah. Met Larry. They actually stayed at Bill's house because they couldn't leave him anywhere. They couldn't leave him in the van, couldn't leave him in the hotel room. Stayed at his house. And they spent 3 days playing those pre-war Martins through those vintage microphones in a studio. Larry took that information back to Boston, and this is the end result.
Do you know specifics about like the mics or anything?
This guy does.
Okay. Getting your notes, Craig?
We do have the sheet. Now I'm holding the OM28, and for the OM, the microphones that were used, we have Mictech CV4, Gefell UMT70S, a Milab 96. Now those first three are really important because they're going to be the first three images that we hit in the easy mode of this guitar, which I'll explain. Then there's a Shure KSM 141, an AKG 452. There's a pair of Neumanns, a U67 and a U47, a Schoeps CMT 56N, and an RCA bidirectional ribbon, an RCA 74B. And Bill took these all, and you can see from this list there that all the different body sizes use a series of different microphones. And these all came from Bill's collection. It's an amazing collection.
So the mics are probably worth almost...
I always wondered if at some point in my career, if I'd ever be able to make a new Martin guitar sound like an old one. And finally we have. You just have to plug it in.
So how different are the actual guitars from stuff that you've been doing for a while?
There's vintage elements, but there's some modern elements to it, right, Craig?
Yes. What it is for the person who really likes the vintage look and the vintage appointments, like the dark little shaded toner, the herringbone trim on this particular OM, the open gears, but maybe the neck was a little too chunky for them on the original model. Some of those older guitars have really big necks. And so what we have is we have those the vintage look with a more modern, modified low oval neck profile. And then it has the same string spacing, nut width, and taper as the performing artist, which has been very successful. It's a real fast neck.
So do all of them have solid, like Sitka spruce tops, yes, and then mahogany sides?
Yeah, well, this is rosewood. The OM's going to be rosewood, and it's a solid Sitka spruce top. The D45, which is right behind us, which is really the flagship of the line, that's going to be a rosewood body too. The D18, of course, is going to be a mahogany body. And the HD28 will be another rosewood. So there's 3 rosewood models and then 1 mahogany.
Okay, how about if we hear this one?
Okay. What we've got is, when I said those first 3 mic images, there's an easy mode because we found with the Aura, the F1 Aura, there's a lot of things going on. Those 2 knobs would really handle a lot of different functions. So to make it a little easier, we actually have 3 preloaded images, 1, 2, and 3, plus the P stands for the pickup. So that's where it goes back. Image number 1 is the Museum OM28 recorded through the number 1 microphone. That sounds like this. Number 2, a little fuller. Number 3, a little more low end. And here's the pickup by itself. So if I go okay, that's number 1, 2, and number 3. Hear the difference? And lastly, the pickup. Okay, you can tell the difference now. Now, if we go back to like image number 2, now this control right here, all it's going to do is it's like a mid sweep or a scoop is what it actually is. When I go from counterclockwise, I have mid-range. When I go fully clockwise, I get rid of some of that mid-range, remove some of it, and then add some more bass and treble. So that's all it is. It's one basic tone control, the image that you pick, a volume, and your tuner. The built-in tuner is worth the price of admission alone, just having that tuner. Awesome.
How much are these going for, roughly?
I believe the OM28 is in the $4,500, $4,600 price range, and up to the 45 is up over 12,000.
Okay, can we hear the D45?
Sure.
Okay, Craig, so that was the first image.
That was the second image.
Okay, second.
I got carried away on this one. This guitar is awesome. I'll play just a little bit. Here's the first image. Okay, here it is back to 2. And here's 3. The pickup by itself. Now when I got to that pickup, I'd probably go in and adjust. I adjusted the EQ a little bit. That sweet.
I gotta say, they sound really good with just the pickup on too.
Awesome, isn't it? With just the pickup is really cool. Now, the pickup itself is a Gold Plus, and it has been tweaked slightly. So it's not just the Gold Plus pickup, another piezo pickup coming out of this guitar. What they did, technically, is took the difference between what an off-the-shelf guitar sounded like and what the vintage guitar sounded like, and they added it to the Gold Plus pickup. So when you're with the pickup by itself, you already have something that's been slightly modified tone-wise. But yeah, it sounds really good.
Nice. So these are going to be available in the next, they take about 3 months to make each?
Fall. They'll be available in the fall. I heard Chris mention this morning, probably September, October, they'll be ready.
All right, cool. Thanks for showing us and letting us hear. They sound really good. Where can people go to find out more about all this?
Go to martinguitars.com.
Cool. Thanks, Craig.
You're welcome.
I'm Sean Hammond. Thanks for watching PremierGuitar.com.